Patricia Jarman introducing the referee in charge of this bout, Toby Gibson. All right, fans, here we go. Introducing to you first on my right, fighting out of the blue corner. He enters the ring wearing red trunks, fighting out of Las Vegas, Nevada, by way of Guanabacoa, Cuba. He weighed in at 252 pounds with an unblemished record of 13 wins, no losses, 12 wins by way of knockout. Introducing the undefeated Jorge Luis Gonzalez. And his opponent across the ring on my left, fighting out in the red corner in this 10-round heavyweight bout. He's wearing white trunks with black trim and fighting out of Houston, Texas. He weighed in tonight at 286 pounds. His record includes 27 victories, 12 losses, and 1 draw with 19 wins by way of knockout. Introducing Mike the Giant White. Once again, here's your referee in charge, Toby Gibson.
Over here, let's go, come on. In there just somewhere, Jimmy. Okay, I want the Spanish speaker.
You know Spanish.
I want to tell both of them right now. I want this to be the cleanest fight.
Quiere que esta pelea sea limpia.
Obey my commands at all times.
Obedece sus reconocimientos, sus reglas.
I want clean boxing and no wrestling.
Quiere un boxeo limpio, no luchando.
Undo his robe. I want to look the height of his trunks.
For the head of Jorge Gonzalez. And, you know, at 6'10 and a half, 280-some pounds, the man looks like he could be playing center for the Lakers or the Clippers or somebody.
And, in fact, he did play college basketball at Eastern Kentucky. And but what did he like to do when he played basketball?
Played guard.
Yeah, wanted to bring the ball up. You know that from all your basketball days. Isn't that what all the big guys want to do?
Of course.
They want to take it outside and shoot. He said, I want to do things that people don't expect me to do. That's part of the reason why he's more of a boxer. Now, I'll tell you, Jorge Gonzalez, I guarantee you, he will see something in this fight that he's not yet seen. He'll see a jab in his face constantly, and he's going to see a guy who ties him up better than anybody he has faced.
That's White in the white trunks trimmed in black, and Gonzalez in the black trunks trimmed in red. Isn't it always the way? The Shakespearean actor who, overhand right that kind of jarred White just a little bit, and Gonzalez has got a good right hand. The Shakespearean actor who wants to do stand-up comedy, the comedian who wants to do Hamlet. It's always the way.
And for Mike White, one thing he cannot afford in this bout is to get involved in a slugging contest with Gonzalez. He wants to set the tempo. He's trying to do a boxing jab, keep Gonzalez at bay, not get hit with the overhand right, which he's been hit with once or twice.
Let's go box it out here. With the wrestling, gentlemen, let's go box.
Gibson says we're out here to box, men, not wrestle.
And I tell you, Mike White does want to hold on a little on the inside. Oh, nice right by Gonzalez. So he's getting that punch in.
And he's got a good right hand. Gonzalez is undefeated. 12 of his 13 wins have come via the knockout route. Where would you put Gonzalez, providing he looks good here tonight, Al? Is he, where would you put him? Is he a guy that tune-up for the guy who's going to win a fight for the title or something?
Well, I think if he could beat Mike White really convincingly, like Garcia, for instance, knocked Mike White out in 2 rounds, and he's considered something contender, it would vault Gonzalez up. But I think Jorge Gonzalez is still 3 or 4 fights away from being a top 10 heavyweight. He's got to prove, for instance, that he can go a ways to fight. I mean, he has never been past 8 rounds.
And suddenly White swings to the southpaw style. Both men a bit wary of each other, as you might imagine. You get 2 guys this size, you approach each other with some trepidation. White kind of slapping.
Yeah, that's been his problem throughout his career. And now when he fights a much shorter man, he brings his punches up and they have more power. But in this case, he's got to throw him a lot straighter at Gonzalez, and that's even making it worse for the slapping.
Gonzalez with a right hand that misses rather badly, and that right hand into the ribs, just under the left arm. We're in the first round. It's scheduled for 10. Still to come, of course, the golden boy from Barcelona, Oscar de la Hoya. To the hospital, there he is, and we hope it is just a precautionary measure. Ruben, can you tell us anything about that?
Absolutely right, Tommy. Exactly what you said. It's all precautionary. They're going to just take him to the hospital for observation. Nothing more than that.
Felix, of course, was a knockout victim of Jorge Paez in the 8th round of a bout just concluded.
Probably that scene tells you as much as you need to know about some of the changes in boxing. I doubt that would have happened 15 years ago in boxing. They wouldn't have thought of taking him to a hospital to take a look at him. He would have just been left to his own devices.
Al, I did a fight one night when a young man from Wales was beaten by Lupi Pintor and died literally in the ring. And it was the longest time before they could even get an ambulance there to take the man to California Hospital.
What a difference. Well, thank goodness they have learned.
Hopefully. It gets better for the fighters, hopefully.
Gonzalez coming out with an overhand right here in this round, and that is his ticket in this fight. Though we've seen a better left hook from him than in the past. This is certainly a better performance by Gonzalez than he's had in some others. I think he's in better shape. I think he's listening to his trainers a little bit more. That was an area that a lot of concern. But he's in against a man who is not doing much in terms of counterpunching. Mike White, this is not one of his better performances so far.
No, and in fact, White switches to the southpaw stance as we look up at these two giants here at Hilton Center. We're at the Las Vegas Hilton Hotel. I'm Tom Kelly along with Al Bernstein. It's a pleasure to have you with us, and I hope wherever you are that you are enjoying our star-studded attraction here tonight. Jorge Paez successful in his effort tonight, the TKO knockout winner over Ramon Felix. Still to come, the golden boy, Oscar de la Hoya, and of course the unification bout between Carvajal and Gonzalez. The crowd is not really tuned in to the heavyweight display put on here by White and Jorge Gonzalez. As Al Bernstein, sitting next to me at ringside, has said, why White is offering token resistance and very little offense, while Gonzalez being cautioned a moment there by Toby Gibson has really provided most of the action in the fight. Heavyweights have a tendency from time to time to waltz you around for 7 or 8 rounds.
Yeah, it's a crapshoot with heavyweights, Tom. As you know, you may get two guys with styles that will make it a good fight, and you may get them together, and it isn't. And in this case, Gonzalez is doing his best to make it a good fight. Part of the problem with White is I saw him fight Dickie Ryan, a shorter fighter, and it was a pretty interesting fight because when White can come up with his punches, he throws it with some authority. When he has to come down, when he has to come straight ahead against a big fighter, he has trouble throwing those punches and he slaps, and that's part of the reason why there's been so little good offense from him.
He swings to the southpaw style and pays for it. First of all, a left hook and then an overhand right by Gonzalez, both of which scored. These are awfully big men. White is 6'10 and a half and 280 plus pounds, and Gonzalez is 6'6", maybe 6'7", and 262 pounds.
And the worst part of this is, as we go on in this fight, I almost hate to say this, Gonzalez will probably do less offensively because it's been his history, and if he does less offensively, we're really in trouble.
Barcelona by way of East LA, and Ruben Castillo was with him. Let's go back to the dressing room and bring in Ruben.
Okay, thank you, Tom. Oscar, you're fighting Jeff Mayweather in a few minutes. 23 wins, 2 losses. That's got to be the toughest fight up to this point. What are your thoughts, and how are you going to fight him?
Well, I believe it is my toughest fight until this point. He's got a good record, 23 wins with 2 losses, 2 draws, and he's a nice, experienced fighter, and he runs a lot. He's a slick boxer, and I'm going to just go in and work the body, cut off the ring, and kind of get him tired for the later rounds.
How do you think he's going to fight you?
He'll be moving around, dancing around, using his jab a lot, trying to escape, trying not to get maybe hit a lot, and it's going to be a really good fight.
Well, good luck to you. Thank you. Let's go back to Tom Kelly.
Thank you, Ruben. Oscar De La Hoya. That is not just a casual sobriquet, Golden Boy. This is a very nice young man.
He is a good guy. I was waiting for you to use that word, sobriquet.
Well, I didn't want to disappoint
That's
you.
your favorite word, and I love it. Yeah, he
is a great kid.
He is a golden boy, you know, and as you look at the numbers, White doing very poorly in percentage landed. A warning to Gonzalez, and he just can't believe Toby Gibson would dare to warn him about that, holding behind the head.
Well, and he almost did it again.
De La Hoya with a great future in boxing, and Jorge Gonzalez knows that his future is now at 28 years of age. He's got to make things happen in the heavyweight division in the next year or so. And you're right, Tom, when you say that Gonzalez really feels that White is just not going to be able to to give him anything power-wise that's going to hurt him, so he can walk right in.
He's done that with some success. He has prompted most of the action. He has hit the better punches, and he has dominated this fight, such as it is. To get back to De La Hoya, he is, it's an overworked phrase to be sure, he is a true role model. This kid is so first-rate it almost scares you, really. His family is with him 100%. He's a clean-cut kid, handsome, press agent's dream. When you see him in the ring, he's a magnificently schooled fighter for being a young professional, but he had a great amateur career. And when you see him a bit later, he's going to please you, I'm sure.
Time, Mike. Come here, let's go. Mix it up. Both of us, this fight stinks. Let's go.
Every time you see a couple of guys like this, and I don't mean to denigrate the abilities or talents of either Gonzalez or White. Whoops, that overhand right, and White nearly went to the deck. There's another one. Gonzalez has got him hurt. Gibson is ready to stop it, and there's a left. Down goes White, and I don't think... He's up at 5, 6,
7, 8. Mike, give me a glove.
I think Mike White is hurt, and I'm not sure he wants to continue. Good call by Toby Gibson.
Yeah.
And let me tell you something about what Toby Gibson did. And it's what the referee didn't do in the Michael Dokes-Riddick bullfight and why he got in trouble for it. He had plenty of time to take a look at Mike White and decide whether to stop it. And you better be looking at a fighter when you stop the fight. And Toby Gibson was doing that, and that's why it was an appropriate calling for this man, Jorge Gonzalez. A good win for him because of the fact that he was able to get White out of there relatively early. And White did not have one of his better nights as you look at him, and so maybe there are still plenty of questions about Jorge Gonzalez, but one thing he did show tonight was, and we'll see it here, he showed the ability to throw more than one punch at a time, and he showed the power in the right hand that we know he has. He'll throw a left and an overhand right. Those are awkward combinations, Tom, but at least he was throwing combinations.
and he had White in trouble, and then you saw the left hand that came in. Here's another look at it. Gonzalez with disdain for White's ability to defend himself or to answer back, and now he's going to take him on the ropes. There's a solid left, and White just all 6'10" and a half of them sinks to the ropes and down to the canvas. And I second your opinion of the job that Gibson did. He looked at the man, knew he could not continue, gave him every chance to indicate that he could, and wisely stopped this fight. Now, for Gonzalez, I don't know how good he is. Al Bernstein, you're by far and away a better fight expert than I would ever imagine to be. 14-0 now and 13 knockouts, so I don't know. How good is Gonzalez?
Well, I think he's a guy that's edging toward the top 10 in the heavyweight division, but needs a couple more fights to prove to people that he should be there. He has not faced a puncher yet, for instance. No one that could... A lot of the early fights he had, as you look at the numbers, a lot of the early fights Gonzalez had, Tom, were against guys who are almost cruiserweight types, and White's not a big puncher either, even though he's big. We'll know more about this man when we see him against a guy that can punch.
I don't know if he's a great boxer either. He's got to work on that a little bit for my money, but hey, he's a winner here tonight, and that is that. And Jimmy Lennon Jr. has got the official time.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have the time of 2 minutes, 21 seconds. In round number 4, the referee in charge, Toby Gibson, stops the contest. The winner by way of technical knockout, he is still undefeated, Jorge Luis Gonzalez.
question about it. The Cuban expatriate. Every win is a win, and a win is a win, and it's a nice thing to have. And there is White out of the ring and headed for the dressing room. Hey, boy, what a following he's got. If that isn't built-in box office and a press agent's dream for a Southern California Los Angelino, nothing else is.
When he made it all possible when he won the Olympics, the gold medal in the Olympics, and of course been overworked perhaps, but clearly he dedicated that Olympic gold medal to his mother Cecilia, who died of breast cancer at the age of 38 while Oscar was preparing for getting ready to fight in the trials in the box office to go to the Olympics. And that win and the story surrounding it and his ability has made him quite the figure.
Meantime, Jeff Mayweather waits in the ring for the young man that he says he's going to take to school. Going to welcome to the ranks of the professionals.
And one thing about Jeff Mayweather is he looks at this scene. He's not the kind of guy that loses his cool. He's an articulate young man, a college graduate in graphic design, a very cool customer. And so that part of it won't bother him.
De La Hoya is just about 5 feet 11. Mayweather is 5'7.5". These are a couple of big guys. That is tall. Lightweights. The Golden Boy. And here's Jeff Mayweather in the tail of the tape. Mayweather is 8 years older. He is, well, let's call it 3.5 inches shorter. He's a pound heavier, has 2 inches pulled in the weight, in the reach department, and he has been around in the ranks of the professionals. The rules for Nevada, 10-point must system. We're going 8 rounds. 3 knockdown rule, no standing 8 count. Saved by the bell only in the last round, and only the referee can stop the fight. Billy Graham, Cindy Barton, and Patricia Jarman are the assigned judges, and the man in the middle of the ring to introduce the 2 fighters for this one, Jimmy Lennon Jr.
Ladies and gentlemen, this bout coming your way is a lightweight special attraction scheduled for 8 rounds of boxing. At this time, I present to you the judges at ringside for this bout. Bill Graham, Cindy Barton, and Patricia Jarman. Introducing the referee in charge, we have Mitch Halpern. All right, fans, here we go. Introducing to you first on my right. He is fighting out of the blue corner, wearing black trunks with white trim. He is from the talented and well-known boxing family, fighting out of Las Vegas, Nevada. He weighed in at the lightweight of an even 135 pounds with a record of 23 wins, 2 losses, and 2 draws. He has 6 wins by way of knockout. Introducing Jeff